Buongiorno, buon popolo. On Mothering Sunday, we thank God for mothers and all who share in the task of raising children, whatever their age and condition. My favourite anecdote of motherhood is a woman who reached 100 years old and, when asked how she was feeling, replied, "I'm fine, especially now that I've got my daughter into a nursing home." Mystical theologians of the Middle Ages, including St. Francis, conceived of God as sharing the qualities of a mother. Listen to these words of Mother Julian of Norwich. God chose to be our mother in all things, and so made the foundation of his work most humble and most pure in the Virgin's womb. God, the perfect wisdom of all, arrayed himself in this humble place. Christ came in our poor flesh to share a mother's care. Our mothers bear us for pain and for death. Our true mother, Jesus, bears us for joy and endless life. Jesus Christ carried us within him in love and travail until the full time of his passion. And when all was completed and he had carried us so for joy, still all this could not satisfy the power of his wonderful love. All that we owe is redeemed in truly loving God, for the love of Christ works in us. Christ is the one whom we love. The heart of this prayer is the line, "Our mothers bear us for pain and for death. Our true mother, Jesus, bears us for joy and endless life." The war in Ukraine, like every situation of vulnerability and violence, illustrates the fragility of life and our longing for life to be transformed by the quality of love that we believe creates a way of living that has no limits because it's not frightened or dominated by death. This is an uneasy paradox, but we should not be afraid of proclaiming it. Our gifts of money and time for Ukrainian refugees is a good example, and you will find an update in this week's paper and electronic bulletins about the different ways we can help. Those who support and work in hospices also know the transforming power of love in the face of human vulnerability, and locally many of us support the Marie Curie Hospice in Elsick and St. Oswald's Hospice in Gosforth. Next Saturday, Sarah and I are singing in a concert supporting St. Oswald's, and you'll find full details in the bulletin. And one of the pieces is The Sacred Veil by Eric Whittaker. It's a set of sung movements charting the romance of Charles and Julia Silvestri, her subsequent pregnancies, and then diagnosis and death from ovarian cancer. The words and music beautifully handle the ache of loss which their love produces, and which will be familiar to all those who have faced mortality in this way. Medieval Christians, and those confronted with situations such as we see in Ukraine and any other war zone, as well as those living with life-shortening illness, all these people know what it means to live in the shadow of the cross. And we who proclaim the cross should not be frightened of the implications of engaging with this difficult truth. One insight I heard this week in relation to the refugee crisis is that whilst our help is needed, we should not rush to fix things until we have first reached out and embraced those who suffer and hold them in their suffering and enter into the depths of their complaint. This is a difficult place to go, but it is what we are called to do as baptized Christians who carry the cross of Christ. It's also not surprising that this is perhaps the quality of love that we first and foremost recognize in those who are called to motherhood, whatever their gender, and that is compassionate, self-giving love. Meanwhile, don't forget also that British summertime starts this weekend. So if you're planning to come to church, make sure that your devices and clocks go forward 1 hour. And look out also in the bulletin for news of a special event that we are holding on Saturday at 8:30 p.m. to mark Earth Hour, an initiative of the World Wildlife Fund, drawing attention to the need to reduce our use of carbon for the future of our planet. And that is yet another act of compassion to which we are all called.